Okay, good evening back in Digital World, my primetime show now, Mike Holoway in Digital World, and I'm so pleased to introduce my next guest. Well, I mean, he's had a formidable career, but just to sort of, get you in the mood here for where we're going, you've got things like Brookside, Last of the Summer Wine, Casualty, New Tricks, The Bill, Benidorm, Waterloo Road, Celebrity MasterChef, more recently, Coronation Street. He starred in so many big pantos, it's too many to mention right now. And recently he's out on tour in a big show that he'll tell you all about at the end of the interview. But welcome onto the show, Lewis Emerick. How are you?
Hi, Mike. I'm good, thanks, mate. Good to hear
you. Good. Was that a good enough build-up for you?
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. You got it all right. Good job I jotted it all down, eh?
Yeah, I'll send you the check.
Yeah.
So listen, as I always ask, because it's a great way to go back, because I think you started quite young yourself as well. What brought you to this funny business called show business?
Well, it was a little bit of accident. I got involved in amateur dramatics back as around about 79, somewhere around there. So I was still a teen, I was about 16, 17. And because I'd never done any drama at school, and apart from, the odd play that you were forced to do, whatever, reluctantly.
Yeah.
But I got into the first thing, it was, which you'd probably know, it was an amateur production of Hair. You remember when it was going around the first time? And I think originally late 60s, I think, the professional thing, and it had my then brother-in-law in Paul Barber, who's been got a list as long as your arm. So when there's an amateur version of it, I went along and I sang the little Up on the Roof standard that I could sort of drum out by the Drifters. And anyway, I ended up getting involved in that, and it was quite a good theatre. It was a place in South Manchester called Altrincham, which was a semi-pro kind of theatre, put on great productions. And I think that gave me I got bitten by the bug then, Mike.
Yeah, it courses, doesn't it?
But then I did a few more things amateur-wise, and then thought, I wouldn't mind sort of treading this path, you know what I mean? Well, that's where it started.
Once it gets you, I mean, it's this wonderful thing, isn't it? Because you can go to, stage calls, you can do all the technical side, but there is something that you've got, and most of my guests, and I've had some wonderful people on the show, it's called charisma, it's called natural presence that you can't teach people. It's either there or it's not.
Well, I mean, I know that... You're right. I mean, it's you're not kind of self-aware of that yourself, but I know that when I made the decision to try and become professional, I mean, equity was a closed shop at that time. We're talking 82, somewhere around there, 83. So I applied to go to a drama school as a mature student. I was living in Manchester, and there was a quite a famous place at School Lane in Didsbury, and I kind of got through the process to go in, but I got to know early in the year, about February, but it wasn't meant to start in the September. Okay. And it's a long way to go to get to your point. But I remember doing some writers' workshops. It was professional, and they would let us come in. They would relax the rule because not many pros, they would only do it if they weren't working, because they paid very little, but it was a chance to kind of, new writers come in, you'd have a 2 or 3 day rehearsal, script in hand, invited audience, we would pay 50p, they would watch it, and then do a kind of Q&A. And it was more for the writer, really, because he or she's piece of work was then put on its feet. But I remember saying to an actor, I said, look, I've got a place to start in September. This was around about June, July now. And he said, well, look, why? You've got it. You've got it all there. Well, why bother with the drama school? Why don't you sort of, now you're sort of involved in here, write off to a few theatres and a few directors, And as it happened, there was a director who was involved in the group called Tony Clark. And he invited me to do a season at the Contact Theatre in Manchester.
Wow.
Players cast. And then I was off. And it just sort of, it's your point that you made at the start of all my rambling, that you either got it or you haven't, you know what I mean? And I was lucky that people saw signs in me that, you know, it was a rough diamond, but there was something there to work with.
Well,
you know what I mean?
The thing is, that was
it, really.
I do exactly, and most of my previous guests have all said the same thing, and it's like myself and like you. Longevity comes from the fact that you cut your teeth doing these little things, because I did them for nothing, you know, very little pay. But wow, I worked with some wonderful directors, wonderful actors, performers, and you learn from them, don't you? You sponge in.
Yes, you do.
You know, and then it makes you a better person, but more importantly, it gives you the toolkit, as I would call it in this business,
well put.
To do it all, and you do it all, and look at you still now.